Good afternoon, Mr. Cook. I did receive your request for that waiver.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
How are you?
I am awesome, and I hope you are too.
Yes, I will be. Hey, PD Cook.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Hello, Judge.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Who else do we have here from the state?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm the new solicitor. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Taylor
Hi, Taylor. Pronounce your last name.
DiCiano.
DiCiano. All right. I will try not to mess up too bad today. Forgive me on the first day.
It's okay. My husband's family pronounces it differently, all of them. So
Oh,
whichever way you say it, I'm sure one of his family members says it that way.
All right. I will try not to do too bad. DiCiano. Okay. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Hi, PD Kim.
Honor. Hi, how are you, Your Honor?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
Good. All right. We ready to start?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon from ACDC. We're ready.
All right. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Judge Regina Mincy, and we're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have been recently arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused the cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to handle several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. And Ms. Bridgewater, what is our SAP reset date?
Yes, the reset date is April the 30th.
Okay, April 30th. All right. I want to begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. So govern yourselves accordingly. I want to also remind the defendants that you do have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to counsel to represent you at this juncture, and you should know who your attorney is by now, so please listen to them. You also have the right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, or the occurrences that went on or happened in this case can and will be used against you. The state is here and they're listening. So again, follow the lead of your attorney and do as they tell you to do. All right, who do we have first, deputies?
Position 16 at ACDC, Your Honor. Miss Sims.
All right, Jasmine Sims, this is 24 CR 0019774C. You're charged with one count of simple battery. Pretrial.
Fourth arrest, 2023, shoplifting, giving false name. Got open disorderly conduct, 2 counts, Jonesboro. Gwinnett County got a fleeing an officer, giving false name, shoplifting, possession of tools, and obstruction. That's it.
All right.
Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 593 Central Avenue where they met with the victim. I will spell the first name, Machiko. Stansberry, she advised that she was giving her coworker a ride to the shuttle. Some type of argument occurred where the defendant struck the victim in their face several times, and then they threw a drink at the victim's car. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. No contact with the victim. A 2-day anger awareness course, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and we were signed for the victim, Mashiko Stansberry. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly.
All right, Mashiko Stansberry.
Yes.
See anyone matching that name a little bit? They have a couple of iPhones. Mashiko Stansberry. All right, we'll keep moving.
Yes, Your Honor. We have no objection for signature on bond through pretrial and no objection for no contact and stay away.
All right, is the defendant working?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, he was, however, he is full-time student right now at UEI to be a medical assistant. She's supposed to graduate May 2024.
Okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor, for some reason, I was unable to pull up this defendant's information.
Mm-hmm.
So for the special conditions, can you all put the victim's name and also the stay away address in the chat, please?
Yes.
Can do that.
Okay. All right, I will grant a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to order a 2-day anger awareness course and pretrial. I'm not for sure what level. Is it 1 or 2 or
2.
2, level 2. I'm going to order stay away from 593 Central Avenue. No further contact with the victim, Machiko Stansberry. You to stay away from her. I think it's 2 football fields, 200 yards or more. Also, I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that'll be it. Did I miss anything?
No,
So,
All right, that'll conclude this matter for now.
thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Number 14, Ms. Roberts.
This is 24 CR 001972J, Elizabeth Roberts, charged at 1 count of battery family violence, pretrial.
First arrest, jail was direct.
yes, Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1080 Gun Club Road where they met with the victim, Michael Otis. He advised that the defendant is the mother of his 2 children. They were having an argument, I believe, over the children. Things became violent when she struck him with her fist several times and attempted to hit him with a shovel. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, FBIP course, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And of course, we was out for the victim, Michael Otis.
All right, Michael Otis.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This was a dual arrest, so Mr. Otis is more than likely in the jail.
Oh, okay, that's important to know. Is he on this calendar?
Let's see.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, it's ODUS. I see the difference. He's position 11.
Yes, Your Honor. As pretrial stated, my client has absolutely no history, and she was the victim here. Mr. Otis actually attacked her. They were having an argument because she was at his house. They do not live together, but they do share 2 minor children. They had been in a relationship. They had broken up some time ago, but were trying to see if it could work, but obviously it's not going to work according to my client. She was at the house just washing some clothing when he became irate and accused her of using too much electricity. And he just told her she had to go and violently tried to evict her out of the house. He tried to pull and push her, and she just grabbed the shovel in self-defense. And she didn't hit him with it or anything. But that is what happened, Your Honor. She would prefer no further violent contact just because they share the two children. She does not live with him, so she doesn't have to be at the incident location. She's okay with that. And we would ask for a bond through the jail, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't know if there's been the ample cooling down period yet.
They don't live together, Your Honor.
I know, but they're gonna have to see each other with these children. How old are the children?
3 and 5.
All right, they're very young. I'm going to order a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order a stay away, and I'm assuming that 1080 Gun Club Road is Mr. Otis's address.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I'm trying to decide about the contact.
She doesn't mind him having contact with the children. So if the court deems it appropriate to do that to a third party, you know, that is how she feels, of course, because she would like her children to have their father involved in their life.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to order no further contact between the defendant and the victim. However, if visitation is allowed, then the defendant, I guess if she has custody, will have to arrange that by a third party so that there's no violation of the stay away for right now and no further contact. Then Ms. Roberts, you need to find a third person, third party to help to facilitate that visitation. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I believe that's it. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yeah, one whole case. Okay. Short day. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Position number 11.
Okay. This is 24 CR 001985Y, Michael Otis, charged of 1 count of battery family violence. Pretrial.
Fourth arrest, 2017 possession of drug paraphernalia. 2014 ag assault on robbery, he was acquitted. 2013 carrying weapon without a license conviction.
Your Honor, this is the companion case with the case that we just did.
Mm-hmm.
His recollection of events is different from the last case, but essentially they were arguing. They are parents of the same children. The mother was staying with him because her power was off. There was some kind of altercation that led to, according to her, who's the victim in this case, she says that he tried to kick her out, which they both agree that happened. And then he tried to pull her out of the house by her hair. And at that point, she grabbed the shovel to try to defend herself. And the officer observed that the victim had lacerations on both sides of her face. And Miss Roberts also, Mr. Otis, the victim in this case, he's the defendant in this case. He said that he had injuries to his head. So they were both taken to the hospital and both subsequently arrested. So in light of that, the court, the state would recommend that there's a signature bond through pretrial services. I believe Your Honor just said no further contact with each other. They can go through a third party, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And at this point, Ms. Roberts, I believe, is in the jail. So won't sound for her.
All right. PD Cook.
It's me, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. PD Atai. All
Yes,
right. Thank you.
Your Honor, my client is 36 years old. He has lived in Georgia for over 13 years. He works in construction. I understand there is some history, Your Honor, but it was about 10 years ago. The last arrest was for marijuana, and that was 8 years ago. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant and states that the complaining witness was the first aggressor. We would be asking for the same thing that the co-defendant, was ordered for the co-defendant, $2,500 signature bond through the jail. Of course, no stay away because this is his home and he's fine with no further contact. Nothing further.
All right. Does he work
Yes, he
in
does.
construction?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. I will order a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to obviously order no further contact with the victim, Ms. Roberts. If there's to be visitation with the children, that be precipitated by a third party. I'm going to order no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons or guns while on bond. And I think that'll be it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Position number 5, Gibbs.
This is 24 CR 001982F, Aura Gibbs, charged with 1 count of battery. Pretrial.
She was arrested this year for a suspended license.
All right, state.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on April 15, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a fire call at the Checkers located 3169 Camp Creek Parkway. That's not where the incident began, but that's where they found the two involved. Upon the arrival, the officer observed Aura Gibbs and Lemar Anderson walking away from the Checkers. Miss Gibbs was yelling at Mr. Anderson at that time. Speaking with Mr. Anderson, he advised that his vehicle was broken into the day before and that Miss Gibbs had been sending him text messages from different phone numbers that morning, one of which included a picture of an ID from that was located in Mr. Anderson's truck. It was of his current girlfriend. He believed that Miss Gibbs was upset because he had moved on after their relationship ended. He then walked outside and made contact with Miss Gibbs. She ran towards him. He thought she was going to punch him, so he held her down to the ground to defend himself. As he was walking away from the altercation, Miss Gibbs followed him, preventing him from leaving in his truck. The officer did observe some scratches on his neck as a result of the altercation. Miss Gibbs did admit to grabbing the ID card that belonged to someone else out of the truck, and they both started fighting in the parking lot. She advised that she showed up to the residence because she wanted closure, that she was texting from different numbers because he was constantly blocking her. A witness reported that she saw Mr. Anderson put Miss Gibbs in a headlock, and the officer then arrested both parties. The state is requesting, Your Honor, a signature bond through pretrial services, a 1-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Lemar Anderson, stay away from 3235 Drexel Lane in East Point, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. Now is it PD Cook?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, my client has been in the Atlanta area in Georgia about 4 years. She's employed as a corrections officer in the state system. She denies many of the aspects of the allegations as stated. We would be asking for a signature bond through the jail. She has 2 kids too as well that are her sole responsibility. We would be asking for a signature bond through the jail. She has no objection to any stay away or no further contact provision, and we would object to the anger management course at this time.
All right. I'm going to order $2,500 signature bond, and I will order that signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order stay away from the Checkers. No, I think you gave a different address. And I don't know, do I need to say stay away from the Checkers as well, or just the Drexel Lane?
We're only asking for the Drexel Lane, Your Honor. The Checkers just happened to be where they were walking by at the time.
Okay. All right. That's, what is it, 3235 Drexel Lane. I don't know if you need to put that in the chat from Miss Bridgewater.
I have it.
You have it, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And no further contact with the victim in this case. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Number 15 is next.
All right. This is 24 CR 001973B. Is it Nayeli Serafina, charging 1 count of simple battery, pretrial?
Fourth arrest. Got open ag assault, possession of a firearm during the commission. Battery DB. That's 23 SC 187656. 2017 theft out of, I think it was Kansas City, Kansas, and a 2016 battery. That's it.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 210 Peter Street. I believe that is the Smith and Porter Apartments. The warrant is somewhat bare bones, but apparently there was a fight between the defendant and the victim, whose name is Keontae Freeman, and the defendant pepper sprayed Miss Freeman in the face. We're asking for $1,000 surety bond, a no contact with Miss Freeman, a stay away from that incident location, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
All right. PD Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 25 years old, and she is actually, this case, she turned herself in when she found out that there was a warrant against her. She is the one who called the police because there were apparently 7 people at that time, and she was the victim of the incident, and she was protecting herself, and she is suspecting that Shanti Freeman and Officer C.O. Stevens are maybe they have some kind of relationship, special relationship. So, but that's suspicion. My client denies the allegation. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial, Your Honor. She graduated from college. Her major was radiation therapy. She has a bachelor's degree. Right now, she is pursuing her music career, and she has been here in Georgia for 6 years. Her family reside here. She's the one who was a victim at that time. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to order a $3,000 surety bond. With that surety.
Signature,
Sorry?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay. Signature on bond.
$3,000 surety bond. I'm going to order a stay away from 210 Peters Street. That apartment, just a complex. No further contact with the victim. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that will be it.
Your Honor, I just want to clarify that you meant to say it's 3,000 signature on bond.
No, she has an open ag assault case from 2023, correct? Did I not hear that?
I'm sorry, Judge, what'd you say?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Right, she has an open 23 ag assault case. I'm gonna give her a surety bond.
Correct. Okay.
Right.
But there's a $1,000 was solicitor's recommendation, and she also it was $1,500 surety bond, and Your Honor, she is presumed to be innocent even for those open cases, and I don't think she should be getting any kind of good bond for this. She's the one who turned herself in, Your Honor.
Well, a lot of them turn themselves in, so that doesn't impress me. I'm glad that they do. But she has history, and she has an open case So I'm certainly not gonna give her a signature bond, but does she already have a 1,500 surety bond or not?
Yes, Your Honor, Your
Okay,
Honor.
I don't
There-
recall anyone telling me that. Is that true?
Yes.
I can double check, Your Honor. One second.
State? Okay,
Let me double check.
yeah. I won't raise her bond, but
2 seconds. Different screen. So it looks like her current bond, yeah, it's 1,500, Your Honor.
okay. I will leave it at the 1,500 surety.
Thank you.
And I believe I said no further contact with the victim.
Yes.
All right, that'll conclude this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Position 6 and 7, Ms. Grady.
Position 6 is 24 CR 001969G, Christina Grady. Charge of 1 count of battery family violence. That offense date is March the 6th, 2024. And position 7, 24 CR 001979G. Ms. Grady's charge of 1 count of disorderly conduct and 2nd count criminal trespass, and that offense date is April the 16th, 2024. So I called both cases if we're able. I don't know if they're the same victims or not. Mr. Graham?
Your Honor, we inadvertently split up our cases so that I have position 6 and Ms. Desiano has position 7.
Oh, okay.
So we can present them, back to back. I
Okay.
think,
And they are different victims, Judge.
They're different victims. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
First arrest.
First arrest. Okay.
And Your Honor, in reference to position 6, the battery family violence, the incident did take place on March 6, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a dispute call at 544 Norfolk Street Northwest in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer met with Ms. Hudson, who is the mother of Christina Grady. She advised that her daughter, Christina Grady, had attacked her son, Joseph Grady. She thought he had her cell phone. She hit him several times before leaving the house on foot. The officer did observe scratches to Mr. Grady's face and his chest as a result of the attack. Our office spoke with Ms. Hudson today. She stated that she and Mr. Grady never intended to press charges. They called the police because the altercation got out of hand. She stated that they've all been living together at the incident location since this incident without any further violence. She stated that Ms. Grady has recently had a baby and she may need some anger management help. She indicated she would be on Zoom. The state is recommending in this case, Your Honor, signature bond through pretrial services, a 1-day anger awareness course, no further violent contact with Joseph Grady, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And if we may sound for Ms. Hudson at this time, in case she may be logged in.
Okay. What was the state's recommendation again?
Signature bond through pretrial services, Your Honor, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Joseph Grady, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right. And then you're going to go ahead and present on 7, and then I'll let the PDs go.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe Mr. Graham asked to sound for Mr. Hudson. Would you like me to go first, or do you want to hear from him first?
Let's see if Mr. Hudson. I didn't catch the first name.
Sorry, Your Honor. So Joseph Grady is
I'm
the
sorry,
victim,
Grady.
and Ms. Hudson is the mother of this.
Oh, okay. So are either of them on Zoom? Miss Hudson, the mom, or Joseph Grady? Don't think we have those victims. But I can go ahead and make it easy and rule so we don't get too confused as they're different victims. So which PD has position 6?
I think I must have both positions, Your Honor.
Oh, you've got both.
I believe so.
Okay,
Your Honor, we have no objection to the signature bond, or the no further violent contact, or the no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. We would object at this time to the anger management. We certainly, they do all live together. Apparently, my client is currently a student online at Savannah State, and she has a 5-month son who also lives at Norfolk Street. So we would wish for her to be able to return there. Or certainly we have no problem with the no further violent contact provision.
all right, so this 544 Norfolk Street, who all lives there?
I think it's the mother, the brother Elijah Hudson, my client, and her son. At least that's all I know of.
My only concern, it did happen in March. I assume there's been the ample cooling down, but I certainly don't want to put her back into a situation that the police is called again. But I'll grant a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. And no further violent contact with Ms. Hudson or Mr. Grady. And that's all no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I will not do the stay away at this time since everyone's residing there. I hope they can continue to reside there peacefully.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Position 7.
Yes, Your Honor. Officers were called to the KFC located at 23 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard in response to a dispute between employees. The defendant is or was an employee, and the victim, her name is Electra Spencer, is a manager. Officers observed the defendant yelling about the victim, saying that she took her off the schedule, blocked her number, threw away her check, several expletives, threatened to beat her ASS. Either way, the officer did try to explain to her that the threats were arrestable, and to which the defendant responded that she didn't care. When the victim walked by the defendant, she bucked at her and called her a scary hoe. Officers spoke to a different employee at the KFC who said that prior to the police arrival, defendant was really upset over a paycheck and began throwing items on the floor, including a tea container and an Epson printer valued at between $318 and $489. The printer was broken beyond repair, and that's the basis for the criminal trespass charge. Our victim advocate was able to get in touch with Ms. Spencer. She said she is the store manager at the KFC. The victim stated that the defendant has only been working at the location for 2 weeks. She said the defendant kept demanding to get her paycheck, but she was trying to explain to her that payday is not till Monday, April 22nd. The victim stated that the defendant was calling her repeatedly all day and all night, so she did admit to blocking her number. And the victim stated that the defendant came up to the location acting irate and damaged property. She is not allowed back on the KFC property per KFC at this time and will likely be terminated. The victim wants no contact and for her to stay away from the KFC. At this point, the state recommends a signature bond through pretrial services, a stay away from the KFC, no alcohols, drugs, or weapons, a 1-day anger awareness, and no further contact with Ms. Spencer. I believe Ms. Spencer is supposed to be on the Zoom if the court can sound for her at this time.
All right, Ms. Electra Spencer. Ms. Spencer. I don't think I see her. All right. PD Cook.
Your Honor, we have no objection to the stay away, no further contact, and the no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. We would ask for a signature bond, as in the previous position, to the jail, and we would object to the 1-day anger awareness course.
All right. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm gonna order that to be 2,500 on the disorderly, 500 on the criminal trespass. I'm gonna do this in hope that Miss Grady's ready to calm down. Give her a chance to stay away from that Kentucky Fried Chicken. And so it looks like you may be terminated anyway, but even if you aren't, you just stay away while you're on bond, which may surely cause you to lose that job. No further contact with the victim, Electra Spencer. Do not call her, do not harass her, do not go up to that store because you're supposed to be away from it. And do not talk to the manager at all. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. That should do it.
Judge, what was number 6?
Number 6 was 2,500 SOB jail.
Thank you.
With no further violent contact with the victims.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Number 13.
This is 24 CR 001987Y. Amelia, is it Koyai? I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name. Charge of 1 count of disorderly conduct. Pretrial.
3rd arrest. 2019 assault battery dismissed. 2013 shoplifting. Jail was a recommendation.
Okay. State.
Judge, I have a different history. I don't know if I'm looking at the right one.
Do you?
I have that this was her first arrest.
Double check that for me, pretrial.
Right, I'm checking.
Your Honor, officers responded to 264 19th Street Northwest in reference to a domestic dispute. Officers met with the defendant's mother, whose name is Irene, same last name, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it, Quia. She advised that she and her daughter got into an argument that escalated into a physical fight where she sustained minor cuts and bruises to her chest and knees. The officer spoke with the defendant, who also had injuries, and also said that they had gotten into an altercation. The police did say there was no primary aggressor identified, and the mother was cited for disorderly conduct on scene. The defendant left the residence before receiving her citation, and thus an arrest warrant was issued. We don't have a number for the mother, so we have not been able to speak with her at all. So at this point, because we have not spoken with her, the state would recommend a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with the victim, no alcohols, drugs, or weapons, and stay away from the incident location. And at this time, I would ask if the court could please sound for Miss Irene Quia.
Miss Irene, is it Quia? Quiah, Quia.
She got history out of Massachusetts.
Oh, but okay.
Yeah, she got 2 cycles out of Massachusetts.
Right. All right, PD Cook.
It's me, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, PD Atai. I just don't want to see you there. I need to pay attention and look at that screen. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Your Honor, my client is 26 years old. She has lived in Georgia for over 5 years. I mean, we heard the history. There was a 2019 that was dismissed. So from what I saw, she has no criminal history, no violent history. And there may have been another arrest for shoplifting, but nothing violent. She's only 26 years old. She's a high school graduate who also earned her associate's degree. She does work full-time driving for Uber and Lyft, and says that she works about 12 to 14 hours a day just to make ends meet. She has worked really hard to live independently since the age of 18. Her mother struggles with homelessness. I would say because of the lack of criminal history, I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. She is recommended for a signature bond through the jail. She's fine with no further contact. I wasn't able to get in touch with her mother either, but I would absolutely object to a stay away. This is her home. This is her apartment. She's the only one on the lease. Her mother does not live there. Even in the warrant, it states that somebody called due to a fight in her daughter's apartment. So the warrant makes it clear that this is not the complaining witness's home. It's my client's the only person on the lease there. Again, as you heard the state say that a primary aggressor was not identified, she does deny the allegations and states that her mother was the primary aggressor. Again, the state also said that her mother received a citation and the warrant was issued for her because she was not on the scene. But if you read the warrant, the officer told her to leave the scene. So she wasn't on the scene, and instead of being able to sign a citation or whatever, and she was in touch with this officer after this incident, which allegedly occurred April 9th. And the officer assured her, oh no, you can just throw it away. It's fine. There's nothing, because she was calling to see if there was something that she needed to do. And she was reassured that there was nothing that she needed to do, Your Honor. And she was then arrested while driving a passenger while she was Ubering. Again, I would just ask for a signature bond through the jail. No further contact is fine. I haven't been able to get in touch with the complaining witness, and I object to a stay away.
All right. PD Cook. I'm sorry, that was PD or tie?
Yes.
All right. Let me give a ruling. I will order a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim. And I'm assuming the defendant does not live at that location?
No, Your Honor, she does not live there.
Okay, well, since we're staying away from mom, let's let this cool down and everybody get their senses back together. Stay away from that location and while you're on bond. Have
Oh,
no-
Your Honor, her mother doesn't live there, so.
Oh, mother does not live there. I thought you meant she doesn't live there.
No, oh, sorry, no, her mother doesn't live there. She
Okay.
lives there. She's the only
She
one.
lives there and the mother
By
does not.
herself.
Okay. So do we have an address for the stay away for the mother, or is just no further contact sufficient?
Your Honor, I don't believe the mother was arrested. She was just issued a citation, so I don't believe she has any conditions.
Okay. All right. So just no further contact with Irene Huai. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that'll be it for now. So 2,500 SOB jail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Position number 19.
Miss Jennifer Tharp, 24 CR 001976E. She's charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and damage to property. Pre-trial.
25. 2017 bench warrant, 2017 FTA, 2014 battery conviction, 2013 FTA and probations.
All right.
Stay.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the Exxon gas station located at 1163 Metropolitan Parkway, where they met with the victim, Gabrielle Roldan. Apparently, she was asking the victim for some money, which the victim was unable to provide that money to the defendant. The defendant became irate and threw a brick through the victim's van windshield, approximately about $450 worth of damage. The state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond, no contact with Gabrielle Roldan, stay away from that instant location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and we sound for the victim, Gabrielle Roldan.
All right, Gabriel Rowland. Mr. Rowland. All right, go ahead, PD.
Yes, Your Honor. Jennifer Tharp. She is 40 years old and she has been here in Georgia for all her life, Your Honor. She does have a solid address where she resides with her godmother and her 9 children, Your Honor. She has 9 children. She recently had a recent baby on March 1st, 2024. She had a daughter. You know, the story is totally not like that. She was extremely embarrassed to say her side of the story because um, the complaining witness was actually making sexual advance to her and she refused. And she was allowed to, it was him who invited and allowed her to stay at the van and to take a nap. We denied the allegation. And right now, because as a postpartum, she's going through raising the child. She is not employed as of now. She does have a high school diploma, and we would like to get signature on bond through pretrial, Your Honor.
Um, I know there's 25 cycles. She working or anything?
No, she's not working, and she has to support 9 children, Your Honor. And the oldest one is 20 years old, but 8 children are minor.
Wow. And what's the relationship between her and Gabriel Rowland?
No relationship. She does not want to have any contact with him at all.
So he's not a father of any of the children?
No.
So she just randomly is accused of throwing a brick through someone's windshield? That sounds pretty serious. What do you have, Mr. Walker?
Well, it's that she was demanding money. I mean, I guess we could read in between the lines. Defense says that she was sleeping in the victim's vehicle and was demanding money. So maybe she should be charged with prostitution. I'm not sure, but either way,
I
she still
deny the
needs to be in
allegation.
jail.
I mean, that's not. Nope.
All right.
I think that's the relation, to answer your question.
No, I deny that. That's very insulting.
All right, I'm gonna order $1,500 surety bond. I'm going to order stay away from the Exxon on Metropolitan Parkway. No further contact with the victim, Gabriel Rowland. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
For the record, she's not the one who demanded the money at all. And also, Your Honor, she has no one to pay for the bond. $1,500 surety bond is almost like no bond to her.
What does she do for income with that many children? Is she just getting welfare, food stamps? I mean, how does she feed them? She doesn't work.
She's getting food stamps right now, $204 per kids, and she is trying to get a job.
Has she worked in the past?
Yes.
I still want to be sure. I'm assuming she'll come back to court, but I'll grant her the still keep it with the $1,500. I may move it down to $1,000. I'm gonna do $1,000 surety bond. Not for sure what's going on there. All right, that'll be it.
Number 3. Thank you.
This is 24 CR 001981J. Chase Durden charge at 1 count of carrying a weapon without a license. 2nd count, possession of marijuana less than an ounce. 3rd count, possession and use of drug-related objects. Pre-trial,
First.
okay, state,
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on April 15th, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a person armed call at the Standard at Atlanta Apartments is located 708 Spring Street Northwest. Upon arrival, the officer met with the off-duty security officer and the leasing manager. They advised that Chase Durden was seen waving and pointing a firearm on the 18th floor of the building. They also advised that there were multiple people on that level who were not residents of the location. As Mr. Durden was exiting the elevator, the officer conducted a Terry pat-down, which yielded a Glock 19 that was in the front waistband on the right side of his pants. He was detained, placed in handcuffs. After he was placed under arrest, a further search yielded a black scale in his front pocket and 2 bags of suspected marijuana found inside a bag that he was carrying. Your Honor, the state is recommending a $10,000 surety bond for the pointing and waving of a firearm. Will $9,000 on the gun without a license, and $500 each on the remaining 2 charges. Stay away from the Standard at Atlanta Apartments, 708 Spring Street Northwest. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
let's go back. I only have 3 charges. I think you gave me 4.
My apologies, Your Honor. So a $9,000 on the gun without a license and $500 on the 2 remaining counts.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. PD Cook,
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, we have the 3 charges. Weapon without a license, marijuana, and the drug-related.
Okay.
Okay. This is his first arrest. My client is 18 years old. He is a fast food manager at Checkers. Has been for about a year. He co-parents a child. He does not have primary custody, but he co-parents a child who's 11-month-old son. We would be asking for something far less than the amount on the bond. He has no problem with any kind of stay away from the location. But we would be seeking a signature only bond at whatever level the judge deems appropriate.
all right. And he's how old again?
He is 18.
He graduated from high school?
I think he's in the 11th. He's gone through the 11th grade.
All right. Then I think, is he gonna need a cosigner, pre-trial?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a pretrial bond? He would need one.
I'm
He
trying to
would
see
need
if I,
charge. Yeah.
since he's 18 and still in high school. Do you know if his mother or someone is going to be willing to co-sign?
I made some calls to her. I was not able to reach her today. He believes that she is willing and able to do that. Her name is Shamika Tucker.
Spell that?
That's first name is Shamika, and Tucker is Tucker.
Put her down as a co-signer, and I guess you'll make sure she has her ID, and we're waiving the utility bill pre-trial.
Yeah, they don't take them anymore.
They don't do it anymore. Okay, just her ID.
And
Let
you
me
said it's
see.
the mother?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to give this large signature bond so that if we come back to visit this, he knows he's going to be going to stay in jail a little longer. So I'm going to grant the $10,000 signature bond, and that's $9,000 carrying of the weapon 500 on the other two. And Mr. Durden, if you have any other guns or weapons, you need to immediately turn them into the sheriff's department. So we should not have any more gun charges by your name. I want you to continue to finish high school. If you don't, then you're required to get your GED. And I'm sorry, that's gonna be SOB through I was thinking about putting him through pretrial, but with school and everything, I guess he'll have to call in. But even if I do SOB jail, he still has to get a cosigner or not?
No.
That part I don't like. So I'm gonna do him. I'm gonna do him SOB pretrial. And I'm assuming he's a level 1. I mean level 2.
Hold
You
on.
tell me, yes.
I didn't put the level down. What level do you want?
I guess he can report once a week.
Once a week?
I mean once a month. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I was just asking. That's level 1.
Level
Because
1.
once a week is level 3. So
Yeah, no. Once a
okay.
month. Yeah. So you have to report once a month, and they'll explain that to you, Mr. Durden. Hopefully your mom gets down there to co-sign on your bond. But I want you to, where was the stay away from?
Stay away, Your Honor, is from the Standard at Atlanta Apartments. It's 708 Spring Street, Northwest.
Okay. Does your client live there, Mr. Cook?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so he should stay away from that whole apartment complex. Don't even go to that complex. I don't care if he has friends or relatives, you can't see him while you're out on bond. If they see you there, you'll be arrested. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And got your once a month report into pretrial. I guess that will be it for now.
Okay, so Your Honor, it's a total of a $10,000 SOB through pretrial level 1. That's $9,000 on the carrying a weapon and 500 on each of the additional.
Yes, and then he needs to come back for a second. I'm sorry, Deputy. I forgot one other thing. Yeah, and he needs to go to school or be in a GED program. And I'm going to also give him a curfew.
Okay.
And that curfew will be from, I'm assuming he's not working. From, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yes, he's a fast food manager at Chapters, Your Honor. I don't know his
Oh, you
hours.
did say that. At that age? Really?
That's what I'm told.
Okay, be home by 9 o'clock?
I can't. I usually close for like probably like 2 or 3 in the morning.
When do you go to school?
I go to school online.
Oh, I don't think I knew that. I didn't write that down. So you're doing homeschooling or school online?
No.
Or when do you go into work if you don't get off to 2 or 3 in the morning?
The time varies. Like probably like I probably go in like 5 through 8 p.m.
You've been doing your work online?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, ma'am.
Well, you're gonna have to tell checkers, I don't know, you're on bond, so I care more about your curfew than you working because you need to focus on getting your degree.
Man, I have a son. I have to provide for. Oh, go ahead, boy.
How old is your son? I keep learning more stuff as we go.
11 months.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put you on a curfew because you need to be, and the fact that they searched you and you had a Glock on you disturbs me. And, you know, when you get off of your shift, you need to be home within the next hour. If you're gonna have visitation with your child, I guess you'll have to come over to your place on the off days to do that. But I'm gonna say when you get off your shift, be in within the next hour. Should take you that much time to get home. And stay in until it's time for you to go to work the next day. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So get your education and then that curfew when you're not at work, which I guess will be from, 3 or 4 in the morning
Mhm.
to 10 the next morning.
Yes, ma'am.
You should be in the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
So the curfew is 3 a.m. through 10 o'clock a.m.?
Let's say 9 a.m.
Okay.
I didn't know she was working. Can I get, this is position number 1.
Okay. This is 24 CR 001965A. Sylvester Davis, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and damage to property pretrial.
39 total. Last arrest was in February for trespass. On probation for entering auto. 22 SC 180333 is the case number. Couple of probation violations from last year, one from 2022 from 2022. 2022 FTA, 2019 FTA, and a 2019 ag assault conviction.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on April 15, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a potential burglary at 729 Bonaventure Avenue Northeast in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer did not notice any signs of a break-in. He walked around to the back of the property where the apartment in question is located, apartment 14. The door to the apartment was unlocked. The officer proceeded to clear the unit after announcing his presence. The apartment was otherwise empty, but the bathroom door was locked. While attempting to use a tool to unlock the door, Sylvester Davis opened it. He was ordered to the ground, placed under arrest. The property owner, Brian McCarthy, advised that he had seen Mr. Davis break into the apartment from video surveillance footage. After a walkthrough, the officer did notice that the doorknob to the front door had been damaged. The video footage shows Mr. Davis forcing his way into the apartment. Mr. McCarthy informed the officer that this was not Mr. Davis's first time breaking into the property. And Your Honor, based on the history, the state is recommending a $1,000 surety bond. No further contact with Brian McCarthy. Stay away from 729 Bonaventure Avenue Northeast. And no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. Did he cut?
Your Honor, my client denies the allegations as stated in the accusation. We would not object to any stay away or any restriction on contact. We would be seeking a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
Well, with that kind of history and FTAs, I will order $1,000 surety bond. I'm going to order stay away from that Bonaventure Avenue, whatever it was, drive. But that's in an apartment complex, correct? Because I think he said apartment 14. Is that correct?
From what I understand, Your Honor, it's a multi-unit building, but I'm not sure how many units.
Oh, okay. Well, stay away from that incident location. No further contact with the victim, Brian McCarthy, No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Position number 8, Johnson, third row, third row.
Come on, Davis. You take
This is 24 CR 001980Y, Joshua Johnson, charge of 1 count of driving hit and run.
Second,
Pretrial.
second arrest, 2020 suspended license.
Your Honor, officers were dispatched yesterday, April 16th, 2024, to the intersection of Brandon Mill Road and Abernathy Road in response to an automobile collision. Upon arrival, officers spoke with the driver of a 2020 Subaru Outback who advised that he or she was hit by a 2009 Camry, tag number RZX5819. That caused disabling damage. Shortly after impact, the driver of the Camry left the scene of the accident. Fortunately, there were several witnesses who took photos of the vehicle as it was leaving, and they were able to catch his tag number on those photos, and that's how he was later identified as the registered owner. We would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services and no alcohols, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. PD Atai.
Your Honor, my client is 31 years old. He is the father of 1 minor child. He has lived in Georgia over 10 years. He is gainfully employed at Verizon Connect Tech. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. He, like, as you heard, this is his second arrest. 20, maybe almost 4 years ago, driving without a license on his person, Your Honor. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. I don't think he needs to be reporting to pretrial services over something like this. So a signature bond through the jail, Your Honor, and no further restrictions.
All right, I'm going to give him a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that would be it. Anything else that I missed?
Not from me, Judge.
All right. State.
No, Judge.
Okay. That's it. $1,500 SOB jail.
Position number 9, Ryan Johnson.
$24 CR 001983F, Ryan Johnson, charged with 1 count of battery family violence, pretrial.
11 total. Let's see. On probation out of Clayton for marijuana possession. In 2014, they gave him 9 years probation, 1 year to serve for armed robbery. That should time out in October. 14 SC 126571 is the case number. A couple of probation violations from 2019. 2018, carrying a weapon without a license conviction. 2014, hijacking a motor vehicle, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission and fleeing. That was first offender. That's all.
Okay.
Your Honor, officers responded to 7777 Shertell Road in Fairburn in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, officers spoke with Jamie Johnson, who is the defendant's girlfriend. She advised that she and the defendant were arguing, and the defendant became physical and started pushing her around outside the bedroom, causing visible bruising to her back and arm. Our office has been in touch with Ms. Johnson. She confirmed they are in a relationship, but they are not married. They have been staying together on and off, and they don't have any children together. The victim stated that the incident location is the defendant's family's residence, and she has been staying there, but she does have her own residence. And the victim stated that they were in an argument when the defendant got physical. She said it's never happened before and that she's been in contact with him since this incident and there's been no violence. This incident is alleged to have occurred on April 1st, 2024. She also stated that she is not in fear of the defendant. So in light of speaking with the victim, the state would recommend a signature bond through pretrial services, no further violent contact with Jamie Johnson, a one-day anger awareness program, and no alcohols, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And I believe Ms. Johnson is on the Zoom call if the court could sound for Ms. Jamie Johnson.
Okay, Jamie Johnson. Do you wish to address the court today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I was gonna say, then you don't have to turn on your camera. All right, I'll go ahead and give my ruling. I'm gonna grant a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no further violent contact with the victim. Yeah, no further contact with the victim, and there wasn't a stay away, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And no
I believe
drugs.
it's his home.
I'm sorry, his home. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that should be it.
And Your Honor, you said no violent contact, right?
Right, I think that's what the victim requested, no further violent contact.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Number 12. Pedro.
It's 24 CR 001986D Wilson P. Pedro, charge of 1 count of battery family violence, pretrial.
Third arrest, 2022 battery DV. That's 22 CR 008558F. Appears to be on probation out of Oakland, California for it says arrest, detained, cited. They gave him 3 years probation last year in August for that. That's it.
Judge, officers responded to a domestic dispute call located at 1444 Liberty Parkway Northwest in Atlanta. They met with the victim named Ebony Jones. Ms. Jones stated that she and her boyfriend got into a verbal dispute about her moving on to another man. To be clear, they are apparently in the middle of a breakup. There is a previous domestic violence case that's open, and defendant's bond conditions for that case say no violent contact with the victim. At this point, the defendant is living in the basement while they go through the breakup, and the victim is living upstairs. The dispute escalated when the victim was in the shower, getting out of the shower, and the defendant began interrogating her about her new boyfriend, and he suddenly smacked her, leaving welts and bruising on her arm. The defendant left the residence and was later found by police to be parked down the street with the ignition on and the lights off, watching everything that was happening at the residence. The victim stated when we spoke to her today that she didn't have time to speak with us and that she would give us a call back. As far as I know, we have not heard back from her since then. The state at this point recommends a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapon while out on bond. And at this point, I would ask if the court could please sound for Miss Ebony Jones.
Okay, Miss Ebony Jones. I see an iPhone with no name. Ebony Jones. All right, we'll keep moving. PD.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 36 years old. He is the father of 2 minor children. He is a Georgia resident. He has a bachelor's degree. He's gainfully employed at Curo Healthcare as an IT manager. He does deny the allegations and states that the complaining witness was the first aggressor, and also taking his car keys from him. He denies any allegation of, he states that she made these false statements because she wants the house to herself, Your Honor. She did not have time to speak with the solicitor's office. I was not able to get in touch with her. Your Honor, this is stemming from a dispute about my client wants to sell the home and she does not. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. I would object to a stay away. I think if it was important that she could have talked to the solicitor's office when they called her.
Your Honor, I would reiterate, she did have injuries. The police did see welts and bruises on her. So this idea that she is making it up to get him out of the house is false. The officer is a third party and saw these injuries. And
the idea that bruises show up in 10 minutes is false, but it's always stated in these police reports. But I've never seen a bruise show up that fast in my life.
Your Honor, I think his record speaks for himself. He has an open battery DV against the same victim where he has bond conditions that he's just violated.
No,
That's the 2022.
Sorry, Your Honor, the 2022 battery, he has a no. Anyway, Your Honor, she has battery cases with him as well in Cobb County. She bit him in the face at Starbucks.
Okay. I'm going to give him a $2,500 surety bond. With that surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. No further contact with Ebony Jones. And does there need to be a stay away at that Liberty Parkway address?
Yes, Your Honor. Currently, they're going through a breakup and they're cohabitating. I believe he's living in the basement. She's living upstairs, and obviously it's not working out.
All right, and stay away from the incident location. That'll conclude this case. 2,500 surety.
Thank you, Judge.
Mm-hmm.
Number 17 and 18, small.
This is Anthony Small, 24 CR 001975G. Position 17 shows one count of theft of services. And do we know too, these are different victims, right?
Yes, one's a battery family violence and this is a theft of service. So it should be two different positions, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 18 and 17. All right, let's go with 17.
Okay. Do we want to have Pritchard go first?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Pre-trial.
All right. 6 total.
Okay.
2023 theft, 2019 FTA, 2014 financial transaction card fraud, and 2012 probation. That's it.
Okay.
For the theft of service, the defendant was dining at Prime Cigar Lounge located at 1035 Peachtree Street. From my understanding, he ordered $447.11 worth of food and beverages and was unable to pay. The state is just asking for a signature bond through the jail, a stay away from that incident location, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while bond.
All right.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. And that again, state was 20, was it 2,500 SOB?
I don't think I gave an amount, just a signature
Oh.
bond through the jail.
SOB jail, right? Okay. Well, I will make it $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the incident location, the dining hall. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. 1,000 SOB jail.
Okay, and in the second case, the battery family violence, it looks like Law enforcement was dispatched to 600 Phipps Boulevard, and I believe this case happened in May of 2022. They met with the victim, Melissa DeQuinn. She advised that the defendant and her were in a relationship and they had resided together approximately 4 months. They were having a verbal disagreement, which escalated at the point where he punched her in the mouth. The victim did sustain a visible laceration to her upper lip, which was photographed. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. A family violence intervention program, no contact with the victim, and to stay away from that incident location.
Okay. All right.
Yes, we have no objection to signature on bond through pretrial, and yet we strongly prefer signature on bond through jail. This happened almost 2 years ago, almost like out of statute of limitation, even though it's not completely out. Your Honor, he does not recall this incident, and they don't have any relationship. He has not had any contact with her whatsoever for the last 2 years, and no contact, stay away. We have no objection, Your Honor.
And I believe that the victim's on the line, so we could sound for her, please.
Okay. Is it Melissa?
Yes.
Didn't get the last name.
DAQIN, so I believe it's DeQuinn, but
DeQuinn, yeah. Melissa DeQuinn. No, don't see her.
okay, well, we did have contact with her. She advised that it took several months, I believe, for her mouth to heal. She was unable to eat and drink. She said that this was not the first time that they have had a domestic violence incident as well.
Mm-hmm. I'll do 2,500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with the victim, Melissa. Okay. DeQuinn, I probably misspelled it.
It's DAQUIN, so.
Yeah. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. That should do it.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Position number 20, Thomas.
We have, okay.
Belton Thomas, 24 CR 001978G. One count of simple battery, second count of criminal trespass, and the third count of theft by shopping misdemeanor. Pretrial.
$48. Got an open trespass, disorderly conduct, on probation for theft by taking, and simple battery out of state court. Also, certain acts on bus rail prohibited, another trespass. So he on about 1, 2, 3 different probations. And that's in Fulton. On probation in DeKalb County for shoplifting. Got a 2024 arrest for disorderly conduct, 2023 FTA, 2023 simple battery, trespass, 2022, couple of FTAs, 2021 FTA. I stopped there.
Yes,
All
and
right.
I have that this is their 4th shoplifting. They have 3 previous convictions, 2023, 2022, 2019. We are in the process of getting those dispositions. So this can be elevated as a felony shoplifting, but in this matter, law enforcement was dispatched to 3535 Peachtree Road, which is the target. They are familiar with this individual because he shoplifted there in the past, and he's also been criminally trespassed from the location. He was approached by a loss prevention officer, Kellyanne Wilson. When she approached him, a struggle ensued and she was knocked to the ground and he slammed her head to the pavement. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond on the 1 count simple battery. To the criminal trespass, we're asking for a $1,000 surety bond. To the theft by shoplifting, we're asking for a $500 surety bond. Stay away from all targets within Fulton County. No weapon, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and a no contact with Miss Wilson. I'm not sure if she's on the line, but we would sound for her.
Ms. Wilson. Okay, I'm going to,
Your Honor,
oh,
Mr.
I'm sorry. Let me
Yes.
let you go, PD Kim. I
Thank you.
apologize.
No problem, Your Honor. Mr. Thomas is 55 years old, Your Honor, and he works at temporary services for warehouse, and his income is not high enough. So he is qualified for public defender services, and he resides with his friend. He has no children. He does not have anyone who can bail him out. We would like to request for a signature on bond. Especially for theft by shoplifting. He has 11th grade and GED. He is also volunteering at the church. We would like you to consider signature on bond through pretrial, even though it may be level 3 or level 4.
And I just want to make sure this is more than a shoplifting case. I mean, he attacked the loss prevention officer and her head was slammed to the ground.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give him a surety bond. And that'll be 1,500 on the simple battery, 500 on the criminal trespass, and 500 on the theft by shoplifting. That's 2,500. Surety bond. I'm going to order a no further contact with the victim. And what about the stay away?
We were asked for a stay away from all targets within Fulton County.
All right, stay away from all targets in Fulton County. No drugs, alcohol, guns, or weapons while on bond. I think that should be it.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Add on position number 1.
Oh. I didn't know there was an add.
It's one case, Your Honor, just one case on the add-on.
All right, can you go ahead and sound for it for me?
Yes, Damon Duwalt, case number 24 CR 001988E, charged with DUI, driving under the influence, possession of an open alcohol container, and an illegal stop, stand, park where prohibited.
Yes, Judge. Officers were on patrol when they observed a silver Kia Forte parked in the roadway facing westbound in the westbound lane on North Avenue near Northside Drive here in Atlanta. The vehicle appeared to be running. Officers approached the vehicle and observed a black male who was later identified as the defendant sitting in the driver's seat, leaning forward, asleep and drooling. Officers had a hard time waking him up, but managed to get the car in park and get the defendant out of the vehicle. Officers observed the defendant was very unsteady on his feet and has strong scent of alcohol on his breath. Defendant initially agreed to take a breathalyzer. However, he was so intoxicated that he was unable to properly comply with any of the instructions. He does have prior DUIs that are still open. This would be his third in 2 years. So we would ask for a $2,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapon while on bond, no driving, and an alcohol and drug assessment on the open container, a $500 surety, and parking in the roadway, a $500 surety.
500, 500, and what did you say on the DUI?
2,000.
Okay. All right. CDs?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 47 years old. He is the father of 2 minor children. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. He is gainfully employed at All Pro Auto Care. Your Honor, this is a Riverside issue. He was arrested on April 14th, early in the morning, around 3 a.m. He's been held for longer than 72 hours and, moved from Hapeville to East Point and finally here, but too late, Your Honor. He hasn't had a first appearance and it's been over 72 hours. So I would ask for a signature on bond through the jail due to the Riverside issue.
All right. I will give him a $3,000
I don't know, I need to back this up.
I'm
So
sorry.
this was a bond over case, and when you look at his paperwork, it states that a bond was already given. So technically, we only put him on here to make sure that a bond was assigned because there was some confusion at the jail. So this is not a Riverside issue. If you look at his paperwork, he was given an initial bond of $2,880 at his first appearance in municipal court. The jail has some confusion about the correct amount, so we just put him on the calendar so a bond could just be set and there could be no confusion.
So why was he brought here?
It's a bind over case. So they bound his case over, but he still had his first appearance.
Already had a
in municipal
bond.
court.
Mhm.
And if you look at the bond over paperwork, there's bond amounts assigned to each charge. So he
You
already
said it was 2,800 and something?
$2,880.
It's $2,280, 2,000 on the DUI, 225 on the open container, and 55 on the parking the roadway.
So what is the bond amount now? It's not,
I'm asking for 3,000 total, 2,500 and 500.
well, it's not that much difference. I won't raise it. I'll leave it as it is, but let's get confirmation on what it is.
It is 2,000 on the DUI, 225 on the open container, and $55 on the improper parking.
So $2,280, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
And that'll be SOB through the jail.
No, it was a surety bond, Your Honor.
Oh, it was a surety bond.
But Your
Yes,
Honor,
Judge, it was surety bond.
I would still ask for a signature bond. For whatever reason, he has been here. He's here over 72 hours later before you.
Okay, and that doesn't matter because he's already had a first appearance. So,
I think that's up to the judge.
right, and it's his fourth DUI, and we're asking for a signature bond.
Yeah.
That's not even what the pretrial report shows, that the fourth, so that's not true.
So he doesn't have 3 other DUIs?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I believe this is his third DUI. He has 2. Actually, wait.
Yeah, I know he got one. I didn't look at the rest.
And
but the
Your
pretrial report wouldn't have like all the history in there like that though. But
Right.
I would have to look.
DUI. He has a DUI alcohol from April 2022. He has a DUI alcohol from March 2023, and he has a DUI alcohol from this week. So this will be his third.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not inclined to give him a signature bond with his third DUI. I don't want him to kill somebody. And so that will be that $2,280 surety bond.
Okay, Your Honor, break that down for me again, the amount.
2,000 on the DUI, 225 on the open container, and 55 on the illegal stop.
Okay.
And no driving.
Without a valid license.
Yeah. He needs to go to some AA courses or get in some type of drug, alcohol treatment program. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. But he needs to get into some type of treatment program before he gets a vehicular homicide. All right, that's it.
Your Honor, sorry, so as far as the treatment program, what is the order or?
Well, he needs to go somewhere. I'll let him choose You know, I won't say it has to be AA or it has to be something specific. I haven't ordered, you know, anything specific, but he just needs to get into some type of alcohol treatment program. I will leave it pretty open as to his choice, where he can get to, what he can afford. And I won't limit him right now, but I'll make it pretty broad. It can be as simple as going to AA meetings, but he needs to address his alcohol usage somehow.
Okay.
Position number 2.
This is 24 CR 001970Y. Darian Dix, charged with 1 count of illegal stop or stand, 2nd count giving false information, and 3rd count failure to yield to right of way. 4th count, yield to right of way emergency vehicle, I'm sorry. 4th count, willful obstruction of law enforcement officer, and 5th count, driving hit and run.
Yeah.
3
2022, he got a 2022 arrest for fleeing or attempting to elude police, obstruction, theft by taking. That's 22 CP 210510. Got an open battery DV trespass. That's open in state court. He went to felony earlier for ag assault. That bond was $7,500, I was told. That's it.
So he has what, 4 or 5 cycles or what?
I forgot to add them up.
Was it a lot or little or what?
I don't remember.
Your
I mean,
Honor,
I can look unless state you got the total number of cycles.
I have 15 cycles.
Okay.
15. All right. Thank you.
And Your Honor, this incident took place on January 9, 2024. An 18-wheeler that was being driven by Darian Dix was observed illegally parked in the turning lane at 1111 Oakley Industrial Boulevard in Fairburn. The vehicle was not occupied when the officer approached it. While gathering the vehicle's information, Mr. Dix did approach him, advised that it was his truck and he had parked there just for a short time while visiting his girlfriend who lives and works at the apartment complex. The officer advised Mr. Dix that the truck was illegally parked and needed to be moved. Mr. Dix was unable to provide his driver's license. He told the officer his name was Darian, spelled Darrion Brown, the date of birth of July 20th, 1986. He then gave the date of birth of July 25th, 1986. While attempting to verify the information, Mr. Dix's girlfriend, Lavoya Nichols, approached the officer and advised that she told Dix that he could park there. At this time, Mr. Dix was inside the vehicle. He started to pull off. The officer did pursue him with the emergency equipment activated. Mr. Dix did not stop or pull over. He sideswiped another 18-wheeler while making a left turn into the parking lot at 7860 Sonoya Road. He then exited the truck and fled on foot. The officer did find a rental agreement inside the truck. The truck was rented to Advanced Delivery Services, LLC. Upon contact, a representative of the company told the officer that Mr. Dix was the driver. That gave his name and his correct name and date of birth. A run of the name came back with an active warrant for ag assault out of South Fulton. Your Honor, based on the history, the state is requesting a $5,000 surety bond. That's $1,000 on each count. We're asking also for a 6-month suspension on his driver's license, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. PD Cook.
Your Honor, my client is 37 years old and has lived in the metro Atlanta area all his life. He does have a CDL. He has 3 minor children at home for whom he is primarily responsible, including primarily financially responsible. He has 2 others that he has a court-ordered support on to visit on the weekends. So he's paying a court order support and supporting three other kids, so that's 5. We would ask that the court keep the bond as low as possible. He is not he is driving, but his income is not that high. We would also request that as far as driving suspension, it seems to me that's getting into the area of a sentence, and the DDS can handle those kinds of things, I believe. So we would leave the bond to the discretion of the judge, but we would object to the court ordering a suspension of driving at this moment.
Yeah, I think that's going to somewhat take care of itself, especially with a CDL. But I don't know. I've never ordered someone. I can order that they not drive unless they have a valid license, and I will order that. But let's start with the charges. The first charge, illegal stop and stand, and I think the recommendation was $1,000 on each. So that's a $4,000 surety bond.
$5,000, Your Honor. There are
I'm
5.
sorry, 5.
No charges.
Thank you. A $5,000 surety bond, 1,000 on each. No driving unless he has a valid driver's license that's not suspended. And that vehicles are trucks. Sounds like I don't want him driving a truck more than I do a car, but I'll say both. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that's all I can order at this time. Anything else?
What's the total?
5,000, 1,000 on each.
Position number 10 is a waiver.
10 is a waiver. Okay. We'll do that last. We have any others?
We have 2 waivers, and those are the last 2 cases, Your Honor.
Oh, the courtroom is empty.
I have a question about Dion Thomas, who was actually in the pool sheet this morning. Does anybody know what happened to his case? It's not on the calendar, Your
I
Honor.
can look into it.
Thank you. NOD will be great.
I'm sure.
What case was it?
Put her little Dion Thomas.
Oh no, I was like, I NOD'd another one, but that wasn't it.
Oh,
That's a bind over
Uh-oh.
case that goes on a state all-purpose calendar.
oh, SAP.
So that just leaves us with the 2 waivers, positions 4 and 10.
Okay. Position 4, 24 CR 00197A. Shanda Fields, charged with 1 count of willful obstruction, 2nd count of criminal trespass. Pre-trial.
15 total. Last arrest was in February for trespass and obstruction. 2015 simple assault, 09 robbery conviction. Jail.
Okay.
This incident took place on April 16, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a trespass call at the Chevron at 1521 Peachtree Street Northeast in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer spoke with Shalad, Chalade, Rakibur, Rakibur, who advised that Shonda Fields entered the store. She stole a bag of chips and punched the glass counter. He also advised that she's entered the store on several occasions, yelling at customers and stealing merchandise. The incident was captured on video surveillance. When the officers approached Ms. Fields, she began throwing punches before being taken to the ground and handcuffed. Your Honor, based on the history, the state is recommending a $500 surety bond. Stay away from Chevron Food Mart, 1521 Peachtree Street, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
What is that, 250 on each, or what's the breakdown? It's 2 charges. You said 500 surety was your recommendation?
Yes, my apologies, Your Honor. That will be the breakdown, yes.
Okay. PD?
Your Honor, she has no way to make a surety bond. It's a bit unclear, but I believe she's homeless. We would be asking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. We have no objection to any of the conditions or restrictions on the bond.
How old is she?
54.
Residentially challenged, or what would be?
Well, it was a little unclear. I mean, she was a little unclear in my interview with her. I know part of the paperwork has her at 2950 Martin Luther King Drive in an apartment, and then one of the documents says homeless. So I was not able to clearly determine what her residential status is. I know she's not employed, has no income, would qualify, obviously, for our services.
Well, again, I'm a little hesitant about sending her back out there to get into the same trouble if she doesn't have anywhere to live, not working. There's 15 cycles. Just got arrested February for trespass. So there's something going on here. I'll give her $1,000 signature bond through the jail. 500 on each. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Stay away from the Chevron on Peachtree Street, and no further contact with the victim.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one was what, 10?
Yes.
This is 24 CR 001984C, Willie Murray. Charge of 1 count of battery family violence pretrial.
49. On probation for burglary, first degree. On probation for another burglary, first degree. On probation for ag assault. 2023 probation violation. 2021 probation. 2018 probation. I stopped there.
Gotcha. All right.
Yes, Judge, we have several cycles, several probation violations, several burglaries, several hindering 911 calls. He does have a prior battery family violence from 1999 that we're in the process of getting the disposition. So this case would be upgraded to a felony. He also has a simple battery from 2013. Officers were dispatched in this case to 1133 Windsor Street, Atlanta, and met with 59-year-old Natalie Flemings regarding an incident involving the defendant, who is her ex-boyfriend. Flemings advised that the defendant came to her house wanting to take a shower, and while he was there, he got into an argument with her about the past. During the argument, Ms. Flemings advised that the defendant hit her forcefully and grabbed her arm with his hand, leaving a bruise on her arm. Ms. Fleming reported that she has been physically assaulted by the defendant many times, and that the officer on the scene did confirm while he was there that she has made 3 prior incident reports with the police dating back to December 2023. This incident is alleged to have occurred on March 18th of this year. Very notably, a couple days later on the 24th, he is alleged to have stopped by her residence to get a phone number, and Miss Flemings tried to call 911, and he pointed a gun at her face and threatened to kill her several times. So he has local warrants out for ag assault, family violence. The victim, we did get in touch with her, but she said her phone was about to die. So all we could get from her was that she said the defendant needs help. It goes without saying that with his record, and specifically with Ms. Flemings, the state is concerned for her safety. And it's very obvious that the defendant does what he wants to do and not what a court order tells him to do. So there's concerns about just having a stay away or a no further contact. I have no faith that he will comply with those. So with that, the state would recommend a $10,000 surety bond or higher, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohols, drugs, or weapons, and no further contact with the victim. I checked, he was picked up on both this case and the ag assault, family violence. I checked just prior to court. I'm not seeing that he's had a hearing or anything on the ag assault, but he is speaking about it on the jail calls. So I know that the jail has had some correspondence with him about that charge. There's been no bond hearing that I'm aware of. Again, Judge, just with his history in general, he's a very violent person. There are some very serious concerns for Ms. Fleming's safety. The state's very concerned that he will get out and harm her, as he has. According to the police, there's been 3 incidents, not including these 2 in the last 6 months. So that's a total of 5.
And so what's your recommendation again?
A $10,000 surety bond or higher. Stay away from the incident location, no alcohols, drugs, or weapons, and no further contact with the victim.
Okay. All right. PD Atai, is it your case?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is 58 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. I understand there's some history. You heard the state say that there was, an incident that happened on March 24th. When I'm looking at the booking sheet, it has the arrest date by the APD on March 24th, 2024 at 12:11 a.m. And that would mean that he's been in custody for 18 days. Whether there were matters which I don't think so. I think that those are the felony charges and this misdemeanor charge that he has not had a first appearance for in 18 days. So, this is a Riverside issue. Notwithstanding the history and anything else, I would ask for a signature bond through the jail, and I would expect,
Your Honor, I'm showing that he was booked on the 16th yesterday at 10:04 p.m. I think the arrest warrant issued on the 24th for the ag assault, and he was picked up on the 16th, which was yesterday.
But Your Honor, I think you see the same booking sheet that I do that shows March 24th, 12:11 a.m.
What do you see, Ian? What do you see, pre-trial? Or Ian, what do you see?
I'm pulling it up now. What I see
Okay.
is that I'll be glad to share my screen as always.
I
It
can
looks like he was booked in on the felonies on March 24th, and he was not booked in on this charge until April the 16th.
Okay.
And he also has a probation violation. So he was booked in on this charge yesterday.
That's what I'm showing as well.
So he has, it's
So
18.
he's not being held on this charge for 72 hours. No, he has not.
And what has he had a first appearance for?
The felony?
You ask him.
I think he hasn't had a felony first appearance.
Well, we're not in magistrate court, so, and this isn't the district attorney's office, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah, but Your Honor, he has been held for 18 days, and I would still ask for the signature bond through the jail to have the charges there, and not having a first appearance within 72 hours. And I don't know that he's had an appearance for anything in 72 hours, and it's been 18 days. So it's not even.
But you're conflating the issues. That you're speaking about his felony case. He was booked in on this misdemeanor case yesterday. So if you want to get with his felony attorney to raise that issue in magistrate court about his felony case, then so be it. But that
Your
has nothing
Honor,
to do with this
the
case.
booking sheet.
Okay, but you have to
It
go a
has
little bit
his
farther,
misdemeanor
and you have to
charge
click on the
on-
charges tab, and it will tell you when he was booked in on this specific
Okay,
charge.
that's fine, Your Honor, but when I see the booking sheet, the arrest date is March 24th, and just a little bit below that, you see battery, family violence.
Right, and then you click on the charges tab, it breaks it down by charge and date.
Yeah, he's saying you look at each charge individually or separately, not just the sheet as it is written or printed. You got to click on each charge.
There's a tab that says charges, and it breaks down when he was booked in on these specific charges. And he was booked in. You are correct. He was booked in on the 24th on his aggravated assault, not this case.
Well, all I know is the booking sheet shows that he was arrested. Part of his charges was this misdemeanor charge. So I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. Anyway, he has all the felony charges. To add a $10,000 bond for this misdemeanor offense is excessive anyway.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to order a $2,500 surety bond on the battery, family violence. And I understand he's got a lot of histories, you know. I'll do a $2,500 surety bond on his battery, family violence. Stay away from the incident location, no further contact with the victim, Natalie Fleming. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that'll do it. Miss Holly?
Yes, ma'am, I am ready. All right, once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be April the 30th. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 2 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $5,000 good bond. Position 3 is reset further notice with a total $10,000 SOB through pretrial with a co-signer of Shamika Tucker. 4 is reset further notice with a total $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. 6, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. 7, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. 8 is reset further notice with a $1,500 SOB through the jail. 9, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. 10 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. 11, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. 12 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. 13, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. 14, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. 15 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. 16 is reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through pretrial. 17, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 18, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through pretrial. 19 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 20 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,500 good bond. And the add-on is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,280 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
What was 19 again?
19 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. The judge changed the amount.
You know, I'll be listening. My bad.
Uh-huh.
I just hit the initial one. I don't hear the revised.
You don't listen to me for my revisions?
Not that time.
Not that time? Okay, I won't take it personal.
Please don't.
Okay, thank you. All right, everybody.
This paperwork is on its way to you, so if you sit tight for just a minute.
I shall. Thank you all. Everybody have a good one.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Bye-bye.